Can you imagine watching your championship hopes evaporate in real time because of a single phone call? That's exactly what happened to San Francisco 49ers fans on Monday when Terry McLaurin penned his name on a 3-year, $96 million extension with Washington. The sound you heard wasn't just hearts breaking across the Bay Area, it was the crushing reality that their dream season might be over before it even begins. This isn't your typical missed opportunity story. This is about a franchise that built a Super Bowl-caliber roster everywhere except the one position that could make or break their entire campaign. The 49ers aren't just dealing with bad luck or unfortunate timing. They're staring down the barrel of what might be the most preventable disaster in recent NFL memory. Picture this. You've got one of the league's most innovative offensive minds in Kyle Shanahan, an elite quarterback who's proven he can win at the highest level, and a supporting cast that would make most teams envious. But none of that matters when your best healthy wide receiver has fewer career receiving yards than some players accumulate in a single breakout season. McLaurin wasn't just another name on the 49ers' wish list. He was the missing piece that could have transformed their entire offensive identity. Over the past 4 seasons, Scary Terry has been the definition of excellence and reliability, playing in every single game while consistently surpassing the 1,000-yard milestone that separates good receivers from great ones. His 2 Pro Bowl selections weren't just recognition of talent, they were validation of the kind of consistent, high-level production that championship teams require. The cruel irony is that McLaurin possessed every quality the 49ers desperately needed. His route-running precision would have thrived in Shanahan's system, his contested catchability would have provided red zone reliability, and most importantly, his legendary durability would have solved their most pressing concern, simply having someone healthy enough to take the field. What makes this miss particularly brutal is how close the 49ers seem to be to making it happen. The existing relationship between San Francisco and Washington had already produced 2 significant trades this offseason, creating a natural partnership that should have facilitated exactly this type of blockbuster move. When Adam Peters and John Lynch completed the Deebo Samuel trade in March, followed by the Brian Robinson deal just days ago, it seemed like the McLaurin transaction was an inevitable conclusion to their ongoing business relationship. Instead, 49ers fans are left wondering what could have been while watching their dream target sign a massive extension that removes him from the market entirely. The timing couldn't be more devastating. McLaurin's deal came at the exact moment when San Francisco needed him most, transforming their most logical solution into an impossible fantasy. The Samuel trade, which netted San Francisco just a 5th-round pick, looks even more questionable in hindsight. Trading away a proven, versatile receiver for minimal compensation while desperately needing exactly that type of player months later represents the kind of roster management miscalculation that can define entire seasons. The 49ers essentially created their own problem by moving Samuel, then watched helplessly as their ideal replacement signed elsewhere. If losing McLaurin wasn't devastating enough, the Jauan Jennings situation threatens to push this receiver crisis from concerning to completely catastrophic. Tim Kawakami's report that Jennings might land on injured reserve due to his ongoing contract stalemate represents a perfect storm of organizational dysfunction that could cripple San Francisco's offensive capabilities. Jennings isn't just another player in this equation. He's literally the only reliable receiver the 49ers have who can reasonably be expected to contribute at an NFL level. His potential absence would leave the team with Ricky Pearsall, a promising but unproven player with just 400 career receiving yards, as their primary aerial threat. For context, that's fewer yards than many elite receivers accumulate in their first 6 games of the season. The contract dispute adds an element of preventable tragedy to this entire situation. The 49ers aren't dealing with a freak injury or unexpected retirement. They're potentially losing their only healthy receiver because their front office couldn't reach an agreement with a player who wants to be there and contribute. It's the kind of self-inflicted wound that transforms organizational incompetence into active sabotage of championship aspirations. The injured reserve consideration creates an impossible choice for San Francisco's decision-makers. Placing Jennings on IR would free up a valuable roster spot for a team dealing with injuries across multiple position groups, but it would also guarantee his absence for the first 4 games of the season. Those games aren't just any 4 games. They're the foundation upon which the entire season will be built, and starting that campaign without any reliable receiving options could create a deficit that proves impossible to overcome. The ripple effects of losing Jennings extend far beyond just the passing game. Defenses would be able to focus entirely on stopping the run and pressuring the quarterback, knowing that San Francisco lacks the aerial weapons necessary to make them pay for aggressive schemes. Christian McCaffrey, despite his elite talent, can't single-handedly carry an offense when opposing defenses can predict every play call. With McLaurin off the board and Jennings potentially unavailable, the 49ers find themselves shopping for scraps in what might be the weakest receiver market in recent memory. The remaining options read like a list of players that other teams weren't desperate enough to retain, and that should terrify anyone who cares about San Francisco's championship chances. Gabe Davis remains available as a free agent, but his inconsistent production history raises serious questions about whether he represents a solution or just another problem waiting to happen. Davis has shown flashes of brilliance throughout his career, but he's also demonstrated a maddening inability to translate talent into consistent week-to-week production. For a team that needs reliability above all else, betting on Davis feels like playing Russian roulette with their entire season. Amari Cooper presents a more intriguing option, but his availability comes with significant financial complications that highlight the 49ers' limited flexibility. Cooper's salary demands would strain an already tight salary cap situation, forcing San Francisco to make difficult decisions about other areas of their roster. The cruel irony is that their previous fiscal responsibility, which allowed them to build such a complete team, now prevents them from addressing their most glaring weakness. The Tyreek Hill rumors add another layer of complexity to this situation. Hill would undoubtedly solve the 49ers' receiver problems, but acquiring him would require parting with significant draft capital while taking on a massive contract. For a team that's already invested heavily in other positions, the Hill trade represents an all-in move that could either salvage their championship window or accelerate their competitive decline. More realistically, the 49ers will likely be forced to continue cycling through practice squad elevations and bargain bin signings, hoping that lightning strikes and they discover a hidden gem. This approach has failed repeatedly throughout the offseason, and there's little reason to believe that continued shopping in the same market will yield different results. The broader implications of this receiver crisis extend far beyond just the 2025 season, threatening to waste what might be the final years of an elite core that took years to assemble. The 49ers have built their roster around players who are approaching the back end of their primes, making every season without a championship a costly missed opportunity. This situation represents more than just bad luck or unfortunate timing. It's a case study in how championship windows can close due to preventable organizational failures. The 49ers had months to address their receiver needs through trades, free agency, or draft selections, yet they seemed content to hope that internal solutions would emerge rather than proactively solving known problems. The passive approach to roster construction stands in stark contrast to the aggressive moves that built San Francisco's competitive foundation in the first place. The same organization that made bold trades to acquire game-changing players like Christian McCaffrey now seems paralyzed by indecision when faced with similarly critical personnel decisions. While the 49ers hesitated and hoped, other NFC contenders have been actively improving their rosters and positioning themselves for playoff runs. Every day that passes without addressing their receiver shortage is another day that division rivals and conference competitors gain advantages that could prove decisive when postseason positioning is determined. The opportunity cost of this inaction could haunt the franchise for years to come. Having elite talent at quarterback, running back, tight end, and across the defense means nothing if those advantages can't be properly leveraged due to glaring weaknesses at critical positions. The 49ers are dangerously close to wasting a championship-caliber roster because they couldn't solve a problem that everyone saw coming. This McLaurin situation will likely be remembered as a sliding doors moment, the single decision that determined whether the 49ers maximized their championship window or watched it slam shut due to organizational incompetence. The clock is ticking, the options are dwindling, and San Francisco finds themselves in the uncomfortable position of needing miracles to salvage what should have been a season of legitimate Super Bowl expectations. The most frustrating part of this entire saga is how preventable it all was. The warning signs were evident, the solutions were available, and the resources existed to address the problem before it became a crisis. Instead, the 49ers chose to gamble with their championship hopes, and now they're facing the very real possibility that their bet won't pay off. Time is running out, options are disappearing, and the 49ers' championship dreams are hanging by the thinnest of threads. The question now isn't whether they can find the perfect solution, it's whether they can find any solution at all before their window of opportunity closes forever. What's your take on this unfolding disaster? Do you think there's still hope for the 49ers to turn this around, or have they already sealed their fate with these missed opportunities? Smash that like button if this breakdown captured your frustration, and let me know in the comments which move you think could still save their season, because right now, they need all the help they can get.